Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and today I'm gonna try something a little different. Okay, what today is it's Sunday morning, November 1st, and I'm shooting a video. I'm gonna upload it just as soon as I get done shooting it. I'm gonna edit and upload this guy. But I've got some stuff kind of piling up that I just want to talk about for a minute. And what it is I thought while I'm drinking coffee, I'll just tell you guys about it. See if y'all like the new or experimental video setup. I'm experimenting a little bit just to see if I kind of like filming like this. You know, what are y'all thoughts about the new kind of video rig-ish that I'm working on here? What I've got is I've got this old Fujica AX3. I bought this off Facebook Marketplace, all right? And I bought it for the lens because it's got a 50mm f1.6, which is really unique. I got the camera home, powered it up. Okay, let me advance the shutter here. Powered it up. It's got an on-off switch right here. It's electric. It runs on a battery. It sits behind this door. And I checked the battery. If I open it up, it's in there. There's a little battery in there, and it's not corroded. So I thought, hey, I wonder if it works. Well, sure enough, fires just fine. Okay, so then, knowing that it fires just fine, let me turn it off. I'm gonna hit the release. I'm gonna pop the film door. I'm gonna pop the film door. Oh, I did. There we go. Okay, next thing I found was, my light seals are still needing more work because it pulled them out. I'm working on that. Yeah, the light seals were all rotten. So I've sat down and I've worked on the light seals, and I need to go back and rework them. Apparently these ain't holding like I was wanting them to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fool with that a little more. I've been working on it. But the mirror box where the mirror lifts up, those light seals around the pentaprism were bad. So I fixed all of them. That's when it gets interesting. Since I know now that the light seals on the door ain't done, I'll go back to that. But then I got to looking at the lens. There's an element behind this rear element, and that element has this weird kind of mottled look to it. I'm thinking that is probably fungus because I can see it. It looks dingy. It doesn't look, yeah, I think it's got fungus on it. So my next thing, I dropped the lens cap, is I'm going to attempt to dismantle this lens from the back to get to that element so I can clean it and get that fungus off of it. Because it doesn't look like this lens has a lot of elements stacked in it, maybe 6 or 7. But maybe I can get to that one right behind the rear plate. The dog out there barking, maybe mine. But the lens itself is a really nice little 50mm lens. I was kind of looking forward to it. I done bought an adapter to put it on the XT3 and everything. And then I saw that lens element's got that weird kind of look to it. And I realized at that point that this lens has got fungus in it. And it looks like it's only on that one element. Yeah, the rest of them look clear. If I move it around, you can see it stays on that one element, which is really odd. It's like, why did it pick that one? But whatever. I'm going to try and clean this lens before I use it. Before I buy another lens, I was going to just get on eBay and find one in mint and buy it and, you know, just do it the lazy man way. But I thought, I went to the trouble of fixing the light seals on the camera. Might as well try and fix the lens. The biggest hang up for me with film photography was developing, all right? And I said that in the 5 things video. Was dealing with the whole development process was the biggest headache for me. And I've actually gotten into a user group with a bunch of street photographers in Chattanooga. And they immediately put me on a place on Main Street in Chattanooga that does film developing for a real reasonable amount of money. And they even do you some reasonable resolution scans as part of the deal. So I took 4 rolls up there and dropped them off last week. And they said it takes about a week to turn them around. You can actually buy a membership, and the place is called Safe Light District. I'll throw the web address on here. It's only going to strike 8, but it's actually 7 because of daylight savings time. I haven't set that clock yet. I have to stop it for an hour, and you can't wind parlor clocks backwards, especially with strike mechanisms because of the way the system's made. You just stop the pendulum, wait an hour, start it back. But now that I have a place that will actually do film developing, I've experimented a little bit. I shot out the rest of the roll that was in the X700. Before I shoot any more, I want to get it developed, get it back, and make sure there's no light leaks on that camera, which the light seals on that X700 look really good. The camera has been well cared for, so I'm pretty sure it's okay. But just to make sure there's not issues with the shutter or something, I'm going to wait till that comes back. But if I can get this one up and running, I'm going to play with it a little bit because it's a neat little camera. It's pretty cool. The next thing I want to talk about is Gareth Danks has produced a magazine. Well, it's a zine. It doesn't have advertisements in it, so it's all the money he gets from this is from people that buy the magazine. But it's called F8. He's got it on here. Let's see here if you can see it. It's a real well done magazine. And lots of the images, and it's all street photography because Gareth really likes street photography. He tells you how, if you want to get your photos in here, he tells you how to do it. But the magazine is well done. Let me see here. Let me open it up. And I'm not going to show you every page because he's trying to sell these, you know. But you can see every image just about it has a little background story that kind of tells a little bit about the location and who it is that shot the photo, their Instagram handle. It's a really well done magazine. You know, it's just cool. And if you're not really doing much with photography publications, maybe this is one that'll get you started, because I've recently started looking at photo books, and then he actually sent a really nice letter with it. It's a really interesting little zine. I was really happy to see that. And I bought a couple of photo books, and I figured that they'd be here by now, but they haven't arrived yet. They're on their way. I've gotten confirmation for shipment for both of them. So it's just a matter of time. When they come in, I'll do them. I'll do reviews on them as well. But it's just, this is something that if you're needing inspiration, this is a good place to get it, because these people have basically shared, it's the greatest hits. You know, that's what these normally have in them. So, you know, if you want good inspiration, look at these kind of little zines. And I like these better than like sometimes bound books. Now, having books from the greats, like I've got that book from Richard Avedon, and I've got a book of the streets of New York, People in New York, I think is what it's called, Humans in New York. Yeah, these little zines, they give you a look into lesser known photographers' lives, and it's a really interesting read. But he has a Facebook group and maybe even a Discord server. If you go to it, if you watch some of his recent videos, he'll talk about this book. I know he has a Facebook user group, and they allow submissions through that user group somehow. I haven't joined it because I really don't have time to look at yet another Facebook group. It's all I can do to keep up with the one we've created for this channel. And so I'm just going to enjoy the magazine and not worry about trying to submit images for it. But it's just really good little magazine. I really like the layout and the structure and the way he explains things. It's just really good. But yeah, I wanted to show that off a little bit, let y'all see it. One other thing I want to talk about is, I mentioned this camera in a recent video. Let me bring it back up and wake it up. This is called a Leica TL, all right? I'll just be honest with you. There's been a lot of speculation that it's basically a Panasonic, some kind of point and shoot Panasonic. But I bought this camera from KEH. They are not sponsoring my videos at this point. So I just bought it from them because they have, well, number one, they thoroughly test the equipment. So far, I have never had a bad dealings with KEH. Just get that out of the way. But I was just kind of perusing their website and looking at just different little, I wanted a small form factor camera for like just around, you know, like if I just want to grab something and go and get some photos, and didn't want something big and bulky like my D810 all the time, you know, and I keep it on the shelf in the living room here so that if I just want to grab some photos while we're having a get together or something, it's not big and obtrusive, and it's got a, you know, this 23 mil is like a 35. So it gives you pretty good rendition on focal length, and it's an f2 aperture, so you get pretty good light with it as well. This little camera was only like $650, okay, from KEH, because it's a TL. They have a TL2 now, which supersedes this model. And because of that, this one isn't very expensive, and it takes phenomenal photos. It's a touchscreen interface camera. So if I hit this button here, well, oh, it's changing the display mode. I hit the wrong button. If you hit the little camera symbol, it brings up a menu, and let's see if I can get it up here where you can see it. The menu is scrollable like a smartphone. See? And it's all touch interface. If I want to change the ISO, I hit ISO, and then I can scroll through the ISOs, pick a different one. I'm going to change it back to auto. Anyway, all the stuff is choosable. Like if I pick white balance, it gives you the white balance drop downs. And it works really well. It just does. If you don't want the touch screen to interact with the photo, you have a little slide down, and that locks it. Now this doesn't do anything. What's cool about this little camera is it has a built-in pop-up flash. So, if you're indoors and you need some more light, it's there. I thought that's a pretty cool little extra that they threw in. But it works really well. The focus is quick. The light is really, it holds on to the exposure really well. So if you focus and recompose, it'll adjust to the light source you focused on. It just works. It's a great little camera. It has two little wheels here for adjustments and stuff. I'm not really doing a review. I'm just kind of telling you the highlights. It does have a hot shoe. So if you want to run flashes and stuff, I think I even experimented one day and took some thumbnails with it. It's a 16 megapixel camera, so it's not like the most megapixels on earth, but it has plenty. My Nikon D7000, the first DSLR I ever really owned, was a 16 megapixel camera. And it took beautiful photos. But yeah, this thing, the form factor is beautiful. The battery is this little cover. It's got a little trick to it. So if you bump it, it doesn't pop it right out. You touch it and then it comes out. I've got a spare battery for it. You can get second or aftermarket batteries and they work just fine. I bought one and it works great. So I have two batteries. But yeah, the camera didn't come with anything. It was in like a Ziploc bag. It didn't have no book. It just had the battery in it and that was it. But it does have it takes an SD card and it has a USB port to charge it with. So if you got a USB cable, I think it's USB mini. I don't think it's micro, but it works. It just works really good. And I put the wrist strap on it because it's a lot easier to carry that way, But I can hand this camera to pretty much anybody and it'll get a good photo. It's shocking how well it works to be so small. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you for a minute. But yeah, it wasn't very expensive. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it was like $650 or so. It wasn't bad. And it was in like new condition. I've put a dent in the top since I've got it. But that's all. I just wanted to chat with you guys for a few minutes and see how y'all was doing. Show y'all some of the stuff that's kind of been going on in the background. Because I've been doing these other things and I've just been showing you the street photography vlogs, and I just realized that I'm not really showing the other stuff that I do, and I just want to talk to you for a few minutes. So how y'all doing? Leave me a comment and we'll talk more. I always try to answer all the comments. So until next time. Before we do that, if you haven't done this yet, Woody sent me an email Thursday or Friday morning or something and said, go check out Peter Gregg's live stream on Friday night at 10 o'clock. He's created a second channel called Peter Gregg Live, and he streams on that channel starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and he's in his Christmas room. And dude, it's like a variety show. It's hilarious at times. So worth it. He's real engaging with the audience. He basically works his way through the comments, and if it's your first time, he'll do like a channel showcase on your channel. He'll go to your channel and show it and talk about it a little bit. It's pretty cool. It really is. Dude, he'll sing Christmas carols. The guy can sing. He can sing good. It's awesome. He played the piano. There's a piano in the background now. It was just hilarious. He talked a lot about video specs on cameras, and I think he had 5 or 6 cameras running at once, and he could literally hit keys and just switch between them. Pretty amazing. Because like he would switch from the ZV-1 to the A7S3 and give you comparison footage in live, in real time. It was really informational as well as entertaining. And I don't know how late they ran, but he didn't get around to looking at my webpage until 12:30 at night, 2.5 hours into the stream. And if you look at the streams on that page, some of them are 6 hours long. He's a machine. I don't know how he streams for 6 straight hours, but he's doing it. So, dude, it's at least worth your time to drop in for a little while and just see what he's doing. It's well worth it, trust me. With that, I've talked enough. This is David, the Georgia photographer, and if you haven't done it yet, subscribe and hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, get your camera out. No matter who makes it or what kind of lens it's got, or even if it takes film, get it out and go take some pictures with it, all right? So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.